Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and the very first episode of this brand new Did You Know series as we take a look at sorry, no, I'm not smack talks, that was a joke. Here's a series, Did You Know, fun facts about universe mode. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Did you know that there are only 15 superstars still left from the original Universe Mode roster? For this category, I'm including anyone who made their Universe Mode debut in WWE 13 and has since appeared at least once in each installment since then. So technically not everyone in this list has been around since the very literal day one, but because of how much of a cluster my WWE 13 series is, it's just easier to say, just take the whole game and say that is the quote-unquote day one. So with that in mind, the list of superstars includes Cesaro, Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, Curtis Axel, Daniel Bryan, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Heath Slater, John Cena, The Miz, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Sheamus, and Zack Ryder. Sin Cara could make this list as well, however he was not featured in WWE 2K15, and to my knowledge I did not use a created wrestler for him. Now you might say, well wait, weren't Zack Ryder and Heath Slater also absent from WWE 2K15? And you would be correct, but I did use created wrestlers for them, and they just did a lot of jobbing that year, but they were there. Sin Cara, I'm 99% sure he was not there, although I could be wrong, so if I am wrong, then this list would expand to 16 and Sin Cara would be included as well. I guess the other weird exception to this could be technically Dolph Ziggler, because technically, he did not appear in WWE 2K18, however, I'm willing to make an exception there because WWE 2K18 did not cover nearly as much material as it was supposed to. So the stuff I did, like with Ziggler's debut as a GM, that was supposed to be in WWE 2K18, and I just never made it to that point. So I'm willing to make an exception there because the storyline with Ziggler's injury was still ongoing, just in the background. So yeah, I'm bending the rules a bit to keep Ziggler on this list, but to not call Dolph Ziggler a Universe Mode original would be just weird. It would be wrong, because Ziggler has done so much over the course of this series since, he was very literally a day one guy. He was there. So to not include him would be, I think, unfair, even if I do have to kind of fudge the numbers a bit to actually include him. Unfortunately, the Divas are going to kind of get robbed here because I did suspend the division for a year. Although, I guess technically if my rule is making one appearance per game, I guess technically Natalya would qualify as a Universe Mode original. And for that matter, so would Brie and Nikki Bella, as they have all appeared in each individual game. So, okay, there you go. I guess they're also Universe Mode originals, even despite the division being suspended for that 2K16 year. So, I guess we can count them. I think this is really interesting, especially considering how big my roster has been at times, and considering how many superstars have cycled in and out of WWE games in the time that this series has been ongoing. So that there's only 15 superstars remaining, I think that's a pretty small number, and over the course of time, it's only going to get smaller as more people eventually exit the games. Very recently, Cody Rhodes got his injury at SummerSlam. Will he be back, or is he done? Who knows? Who can say for sure? But then in WWE 2K18, we did actually have a couple of departures, including the likes of Big Show and Mark Henry, two people who had been around as kind of gatekeepers in the series. But they both unofficially retired, I suppose. There was no big retirement announcement for either. Big Show just kind of happened to say, yeah, I'm retired, after appearing in a match with Dolph Ziggler on Raw in 2K17, and then like many episodes later, he came back and he was already retired. And with Mark Henry, he had a match with Dean Ambrose, and now he's just not in the game, so he's basically retired. So there was no big speech for them. They just kind of left quietly, as that tends to be how some of the guys will go. Some of them get totally injured and written out of the series. Not everybody gets written out. Some people just kind of leave quietly. So how many of these superstars are going to be able to hang on? How many of these superstars, if this series were to end one day, would manage to survive the whole thing? I guess we'll have to wait and see what the future holds. Did you know that the only two superstars to appear on every Big Four pay-per-view thus far are Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins? Dean Ambrose is currently 3-3 at these events, as he didn't actually have a match on the SummerSlam 2K18 card, and Seth Rollins is currently 7-0 at these events, not counting Royal Rumble matches. Included in that undefeated streak are 2 appearances in traditional Survivor Series tag team matchups, both of which Seth Rollins won, obviously, and both of which Seth Rollins was a sole survivor in, once alongside Roman Reigns, and once alongside Dolph Ziggler. Seth Rollins isn't the only man to be undefeated in these kinds of matchups, as The Big Show is also 2-0 in Survivor Series tag team matches. However, The Big Show was pinned in both of his occasions, so not quite as much success as Seth. Okay, we're gonna drop asking all of these in the form of a did you know question, because I'm kind of getting tired of that. But for number 3, Kevin Owens won the WWE Championship on July 20th, 2016, and his reign currently spans over 800 days, 2 full game cycles, and 8 defenses. What you might not know, especially if you haven't followed both of our channels for that long, is that Murph's YT13 had a similarly booked champion in his series for around the same time. In that series, it was Rusev who won the WWE title on August 16th, 2016, just 27 days after I had Owens win my version of the title. Rusev defended the belt for 9 straight pay-per-views before finally dropping the title to that version's Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, nearly 2 years after Rusev had won the gold. As of SummerSlam, my version of Kevin Owens has held the WWE title for 9 straight pay-per-views in over 2 years. Granted, I did fall behind on production for 2K18, so the numbers would be quite different if I had been able to match my old pace, whether or not Owens would even still be the champ at this point. Even so, I think it's crazy that we both coincidentally ended up doing something so similar for so long. Did you know that Jack Swagger holds the record for competing in the opening match of 10 consecutive pay-per-views? From Extreme Rules in WWE 13 to Royal Rumble in 2K15, Swagger kicked off events in either singles or tag team competition. Sometimes against one opponent, sometimes against multiple. His success rate was a mixed bag, however, as he was only able to win half of those matches. The next closest in terms of total opening appearances is Alberto Del Rio with 5, but only 3 of those were consecutive, and all 3 of those matches also included Swagger. Other notable introductions include Cesaro, Big E, and Zack Ryder with 4 outings each. On the flip side of this, CM Punk holds the record for most main event appearances at 7, while also being tied with Cesaro for closing the most consecutive pay-per-views at 3. Other noteworthy main eventers include Dean Ambrose, Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Kevin Owens, who have all main evented 4 pay-per-views each. Don't worry, I'm not gonna read off each and every statistic like I did in my overly long championship history video. That was dumb. Instead, I'll just add a new sheet to my pre-existing championship document and link that in the description. I'll try to update it as I make more pay-per-views, and in case you weren't aware, I link that under all of my new Universe episodes, so you can revisit it at any time. One last detail I want to touch on is the record for longest time between main event appearances, which is currently held by John Cena at a whopping 19 pay-per-views. This drought lasted from TLC in 2K14, where he defended the WWE title against The Undertaker, to Battleground in 2K18, where he was defeated in a fatal 4-way elimination match for Kevin Owens' WWE Championship. The next closest would be a tie between Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar, who both had a span of 15 months between main event matches. And in the case of Brock Lesnar, both matches were against the exact same opponent. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, so I don't actually have a 5th topic, that was just a joke. My gimmick is 4 topics per short form Beyond the Universe anyway, so we'll stick with that. I doubt this will be all that frequent, since it's basically just a bunch of fun facts that, in some cases, require a decent bit of time to put together, and y'all know I need to save that time for other projects. A video like this is a nice breath of fresh air to spice things up every now and then, but the parent series is more important. If anyone else is interested in these minor details and wants to look into the series themselves when they're bored, I'll gladly accept topic submissions and credit the people who did the research, but I don't expect anyone to do that. There are certain things I could do, like compile win-loss records for everyone who has ever competed in the series, but I doubt anyone would have the time or patience to skim through 6 years of episodes and keep track of all of that. I know I certainly don't. I tried that once just for pay-per-views about 2 years ago, but I never kept up with it. I'm not even sure my numbers were 100% accurate, so maybe I'll try again one day when I can set aside a few hours, maybe even days, to compile it all. Then the goal would be to keep up with it, and I'm scatterbrained enough as is, so I'd probably fall behind. I don't even know if the investment would be worth it. Would it be worth it? Turns head to camera looking at audience, even though this video isn't filmed with a camera, so I'm just talking into a mic, so the joke doesn't work. But I still made it anyway. Anyways, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you had fun, and I will see you in the next one. Keep on YouTubing.